Giving a COVID shot to a baby today is insane.
3 of them.
RFK, Bobby Kennedy, has announced that the CDC are setting up a new agency just to investigate vaccine injuries. Surely you agree that that is a good and righteous thing. But will there be a backlash? Will people try to take Bobby Kennedy down now? Let's have a look and see.
Let me ask you, are you going to make any investments in long COVID and vaccine injuries in terms of coming up with treatments and data to help clinicians, help their patients?
Yeah, that's going to be one of our priority focuses. We already have a division at NIH that is devoted to studying long COVID and to figuring out cures and to study, and we're incorporating an agency within CDC that is going to specialize in vaccine injuries. Oh, those are things that are priorities for me, and also Lyme disease. These are priorities for the American people. More and more people are suffering from these injuries. And we are committed to having gold standard science to make sure that we can figure out what the treatments are and that we can deliver the best treatments possible to the American people.
Perfectly reasonable. Why then are the legacy media inviting Dr. Ashish Jha and others to slam JFK for this new position? If there's such incredible focus on the death from measles, why wouldn't we want to focus on any death from any virus or any injuries from vaccines? Why would we not want truth? Why would we be afraid of truth?
You have made no secret about your concern over RFK Jr. as HHS Secretary. He is also planning to establish a so-called vaccine injury agency within the CDC.
Yeah, look, we absolutely should be tracking side effects and injuries from vaccines. They're rare, but they happen, and it's important to assess them. What he is doing is elevating that issue to a point and bringing in people who are not scientists, who are going to make the data on injuries and side effects much more dramatic than they are. Like, we should be tracking it. CDC does track it. What he's doing is really augmenting that issue in a way that is totally inappropriate. We don't do that for any other medicines. We shouldn't be doing that for vaccines.
And people hear this. It has an effect.
Absolutely. And we know it has an effect because we're seeing vaccination rates among children declining. And that, of course, is putting kids across America at risk.
Good. Not putting kids across America at risk, which you would think, if that was a serious concern, they'd do something about these endless, unending, incessant child sex trafficking rings that appear to be very popular in some circles. Giving people the choice as to whether they vaccinate their children would seem to be an important part of the remit of freedom more generally. Here's Callie Means responding to that. These people have lost their minds by the CDC's own data. Tens of thousands of vaccine injuries happen per year. Why are the experts breathlessly covering one measles death but openly attacking Kennedy for wanting to study how to prevent vaccine injuries? Pretty interesting and valid point, I would say. The conversation around vaccines is advanced further by this brilliant conversation between Joe Rogan and Susan Humphries. I've not watched enough of this yet, but I'm pretty excited to see it because I know that people are saying this really moved the needle, forgive the pun, on the vaccine conversation. Let's get into it.
What happened with COVID? Let's just look at that. Like, how did they pass this off? Look at the media today. Do you know that they're giving COVID vaccines to 6-month-old children now? We know how bad it is. We know that it ruins stem cells in pregnant women. They don't give stem cells to their babies. The industry's upset because the placentas no longer have stem cells. And they used to use those stem cells in research and cosmetics, etc. They're not getting them anymore because of what the COVID shots did to the placentas and those infants. That's not being talked about in the media. Nothing bad about the shots being talked about when we have Kevin McKernan and all these people looking at it going, there's SV40 in it. There was a staphylococcal endotoxin gene. There were 2 snake genes in there. You know, it's a definite gain of function. Nope. We got to put it on the baby vaccine schedule.
Vaccinating babies, hey? Is there a profit in it, hey? Vaccine injuries, hey? Did ya? Just caught a mosquito, says Janice 6, and it had Bill Gates written all over it, and it's only March.
Because any doubts whether or not well-funded about the vaccination must not be allowed to exist. That's why.
That sounds like a religion.
And it's been
It
gone
sounds like a cult. It sounds like a crazy cult that the whole world's been sucked into.
Godlessness means that reverence and worship tends to be attached to social and cultural, and even in this instance, medical ideas. Good point by Joe Rogan. I would agree with that. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments and chat.
Giving a COVID shot to a baby today is insane.
3 of them.
Diane of Jonah in the Rumble chat. In 86, Reagan gave pharmaceutical companies immunity from prosecution. Should that be reversed? Let me know in the comments and chat.
They get 3 by the certain. You'd have to look up the schedule, but I believe it starts at 6 months, and they get 3 of them. Kind of boom, boom,
Are
boom.
doctors really recommending this?
It's on the look. There's a group of people called ACIP, the doctors, usually with vaccine interests in their bank accounts, that make the recommendations for the vaccines, and they have recommended that 6-month-olds. So if your doctor is following the ACIP program, you have to be offered that vaccine. And now that doctor, this is another part of the story, is that doctor's likely to lose $250,000 a year if they don't do that, because there's incentive given to hospitals and doctors, which is what naively I was on the other end of when I woke up in 2008 and said, wait a minute, why are we doing this stuff to my sick, inflamed patients? You're giving more inflammation. It's because the hospital would lose something like $40,000 if they didn't give a vaccine within the first 24 hours of admission.
Oh, my God.
And they would get $40,000. It was all a money game. That's really the bottom line of it. And I didn't know that until a nurse years ago, who was a high-level administration, she said, Suzanne, this is why they did that to you. Oh, wow, okay. Well, at least it makes sense now.
Let me know in the comments and chat if you trust your own gut instinct when you see a doctor like that explaining her personal experience treating patients, when she uses common sense adjudicators such as, oh, why would you treat inflammation with inflammation-inducing medications? Let me know if you believe, like I do, that these kind of conversations where Joe Rogan has experts on and gets them to explain in plain English the nature of their experience have really changed the cultural conditions and in fact have led to the rise of Bobby Kennedy, a rise that will likely be attacked and thwarted by many of his opponents now, precisely because we have a new popular representative in a significant position of government power. Let me know if you think that vaccines and the vaccine schedule should be in the hands of parents rather than the hands of the government, and if there certainly seems to be room for investigation, exploration and deeper clinical trials when it comes to vaccine injury and the efficacy of vaccines issued to children. And let me know, why would the pharmaceutical industry be opposed to this? Surely new clinical trials would prove them right. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat. Remember, we stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Rumble. Get Rumble Premium to get additional content from us and to join us for extra special conversations like People on Locals and Rumble Premium are right now. Are you a yo-yo dieter? You lose weight, you gain the weight back again, you hate yourself, you be sick, you're standing in front of the mirror, you're crying, you're screaming the names of the Lord into a broken mirror. That's got to stop. It's time for you to try lean instead of that weird serial killer thing you were doing just before. It's dangerous to be a yo-yo dieter. Studies show that you can increase the risk of heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes and other health problems. Breaking free of your yo-yo diet pattern is the main reason doctors created lean. Lean is a supplement, not an injection, and you don't need a prescription. It's not like that crazy thing, Ozempic or whatever it's called. The science behind lean is impressive. It's studied natural ingredients target weight loss in 3 powerful ways. Powerful way 1 helps maintain healthy blood sugar. Powerful way 2 helps control appetite and cravings. Powerful way 3, it helps burn fat by converting it into energy. That's 3 powerful ways. Listen, if you're tired of losing weight, then just gaining that weight back again, if you want to lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace, Lean was created for you. Let me get you started by offering you 20% off when you offer BRAND20 at TakeLean.com. That's code BRAND20 at TakeLean.com. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.